Welcome into the second part of the all signs reading for February. It's the astro recall and unique challenges. All right, we're going to go over all of the transits that are happening from the first house to the 12th house for the following signs: Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, as well as Pisces. All other signs are going to be in part one of this reading. All right. I'm going to be pulling 3 cards out of the Oracle of the Radiant Sun so that it connects directly with the energy that I'm picking up on in your specific chart. All right, and we'll go from there. So we're going to start off with Sagittarius. Timestamps will be available in the description box below. All right, let's pull up your chart here, Sag. All right, perfect. So Sagittarius, your first house. We are setting off in February with the last quarter moon in your first house. All right, on February 20th. We also have on February 19th. These two transits kind of go together. So it'll be Juno stepping out of Scorpio in your 12th house and moving into Sagittarius in your first house, connecting with that of the last quarter moon in Sag. So this means that there's some sort of adjustment here that needs to be released pertaining to your house of self. Okay. Juno is the asteroid of marriage and partnership. So you may be stepping into some sort of new commitment and where you're involving yourself with whatever that commitment is. All right. It could be self-focused. All right. It could be a journey in which you are getting ready to expand yourself here with the next new moon cycle. And that would be in Pisces on February 27th. All right. So let's just take a look here. What's happening. So this mutable moon cycle would be obviously in your first, your fourth, your seventh, and your 10th houses. So we're going to heavily see first house, fourth house as home, self, relationships, as well as Capricorn, which is your career. Okay. Capricorn in your second house. This is currently where Pallas is in the sign of Capricorn with Eros. All right. Both asteroids. One speaks of wisdom and knowledge. Eros speaks about desire, sex, and creativity. And this is getting ready to ingress into Aquarius in the month of February, the 14th and the 16th, stepping into your third house of communication. All right. You having Aquarius in your third house is a good placement. All right. Why? Because it's an intellectual sign. All right. For you, you have water energies. All right. In water houses. Okay. And you have air signs and air houses. So it works perfectly in alignment with the energy that it's sitting in. The sun is currently shining in your third house, which is all about communication and short travels. You can have connections to your siblings at this time. Mercury is currently in Aquarius later on this evening tonight. So we're looking at lots of communication coming through for you through the energy of your intellect. You could be socializing a lot more, doing innovative projects, sharing your ideas, whatever this may be for you. It's going to be heightened and coming through the media or on the internet if you have associations with like chat rooms and things like that. All right. So we have Ceres also in Aquarius in the third house. This has a lot to do with parenting, nurturing, and agriculture and the way that you're taking care of yourself. All right. It could be that you're doing some sort of public speaking that in which is helping you release, let's just say, your artistic abilities, because you have Sappho here as well. All right. And where you're able to communicate out some sort of truth or whatever transformation that's happening in your third house, because Pluto's here as well. All right. So whatever transformation is happening, I feel like you're doing a lot of communicating about it. New moon in Aquarius on January 29th. This is going to set off possibly like I'm feeling like it's a new project for you. All right. With wisdom and knowledge and with some sort of desired creativity. And I feel like you're going to be doing this either online or in the media. All right. Chinese New Year is happening as well on the 29th. So we're setting out to step into this intuitive, imaginative, sensitive type of vibe with the year of the wood snake. All right. It's heavy on remaining passionate about something. Okay, so it could be that you're passionate about what you're communicating about. Heavy on Aquarius energy here in your third house for now. February will start off, obviously, Pisces season, right? Mid-month. So at this time, we have the most transits in Aquarius as well as in Pisces. North Node is in Pisces. The asteroid of Psyche is in Pisces, which has to do with your soul, your conscious, your mind. Venus is currently in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces, and then by the end of the month, we'll see the new moon in Pisces step in on the 27th. All right, and the sun would actually step into Pisces as well on the 18th of February. So all of these transits being here in your fourth house for you, Sag, heavy emphasis on your home environment, on divine feminine energy, a mother figure, the comfort of your own home. You have Venus in Pisces right now, so you could be beautifying your home at this time. All right, you could be bringing structure into your home at this time. Neptune, you're using your imagination, you're getting creative in your home environment. All right, Psyche has a lot to do with your conscious state versus your subconscious state. All right, so for you, it's in the sign of Pisces, which obviously has to do heavily with the subconscious, or the energy of the unknown, karmic, secrets, shadows, things that are like that. So just be sure that you're on path here, remaining structured in your emotional state with what is illusion versus what is reality. All right, surrounding your home environment. Aries in the fifth house. I'm seeing the house of pleasure, love, creativity, self-expression, as well as children. This is where you're doing some sort of core wound healing. All right, so you could be spending a lot of time around your children or something that you do creatively and which allows you to self-express, which I like the fact that Aries sextiles over to Aquarius's energy. We have a new moon coming up in Aquarius, and at some point it will sextile to Chiron. All right, so whatever you're doing creatively in the third house, it will affect what your hobby is in the fifth. All right. I like the fact that Saturn and Pisces in your fourth house was semi-sextile to Chiron in Aries. So whatever it is that you're doing creatively, it could definitely affect the home environment as well. On the same day, we were having the new moon in Pisces on the 27th. Taurus in your sixth house. This is your house of health and hard work. All right. Uranus retrogrades in Taurus all the way through from, I believe it was the 1st of September to now this week on January 30th. It will finally go direct. So if it pertains to your health, meaning your sleeping patterns, your eating patterns, the way that you're exercising, keeping yourself on a daily routine, putting in hard work, heavy focus on being of service to other people, this is where you are finally going to see a lot of progress with it going direct instead of causing chaos, all right, and madness. There could just be some sort of review to get you back on track within your work life. All right. Gemini in the seventh house here is the house of relationships and legal contracts. Jupiter has been retrograding since October. It's finally going direct on February 4th. All right. It looks like here for you, this is going to be finally your relationships or some sort of contract that's being expanded, all right, or where you are focusing more so on being, I don't want to say contracted to something, but committed to something. And it possibly has a lot to do with work. I'm seeing your retrogrades happening in the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th houses. So maybe you were going through this like sort of transformation energy with Mars being in Cancer. It's a very significant house and where Mars rules. So it has a lot to do with, I don't want to just say death and rebirth because that would be more Pluto, but Mars is allowing you action to take in order for you to experience the deep emotional feelings and what requires for you to push forward and pass your fears. All right. So it could be things from the past that you're overcoming as you head to the near future. You're kind of reviewing your work life, your relationships, and then also transforming your life to be able to move forward. So by February 23rd, when Mars goes direct in the sign of Cancer, all planets will be direct by then, and you would see a lot of progress, okay, within these three different areas in your chart. So Leo in your ninth house, this is a house of higher learning, spirituality, and foreign travel. This is going to be the full moon of this month. So you might be wanting to travel to a foreign place here or really tapping into spirituality or learning about it at least. All right. Mars will step back into your ninth house. That won't be up until April 18th. That is finally going direct in February, heading back into Leo, and where it previously was in Leo and retrograded back into Cancer. So this was like this back and forth thing with you for the past month here with Mars being in your ninth and your eighth houses. Virgo's in your 10th house. So this is your house of career, public image, and professional aspirations. South Node has just ingressed into the sign of Virgo, as it was in Libra for about 1.5 years. So now your karmic challenges has to do with, I guess, building back up your public image or your reputation or your professional life overall, really tapping into your divine masculine energy and where you're heading with your direction or purpose in life. Okay. Lilith is currently still in your 11th house. It's giving you a sense of power surrounded by a community of people that you love to be around. You could be collaborating with these people, being part of a group, or networking with whatever seems to be catching your attention here. It could be something innovative that you do, very futuristic. It gives you a sense of being unique, all right, in the 11th house, which is typically ruled by Aquarius. All right, Scorpio in the 12th house for you. This is the house of the subconscious, the imagination, and the inspiration, in which I said Juno will be stepping into your first house. It's currently here with the asteroid of Vesta, which is the asteroid of spirituality. So this for you works perfectly. All right, so you could be heavily tapped into your spirituality here. Juno gives this sense of partnership and bonding and marriage, and where you feel a tight connection to your subconscious state. It could be that you're having heightened dreams, all right? It could be that you have a spiritual connection to someone. It could be that you are inspired by someone's spirituality and where you want to learn about it. You feel connected to it. You feel like you want to sacrifice and devote some of your time to it. It could be just about that. All right, so let me get you 3 cards out here. Let's see how this resonates with your reading. This is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. All right, and it typically taps in with astrology. So let's see what Spirit wants to show for the month of February for you, Sag. All right, so you have submission with Venus and Pisces, which is the current transit. All right, there's a situation that you may be stuck in that could be easily left is what that card means. All right, we have Mars in the sign of Capricorn, which typically it speaks about the 3 of Pentacles in tarot, right? It gives this energy of you having a position of authority, all right? It does speak about there heavily being a focus on your career, which South Node being in Virgo. Obviously, I just said you have earth signs inside of your earth houses. So Mars for you, once again, is sitting in the 8th house. It's giving you a sense of power, overcoming whatever it is that you're doing here in your transformation. So this is definitely something that can be overly able to step away from if you feel stuck or submissive to something. You may be flattering people here with the information that you have. All right, flattering people with conversations. All right, you may be speaking out and people may just be hearing you out. All right, with Venus being in Gemini. Heavy Venus and Mars energy. So these are personal planets which are affecting you. Now, where you have specific signs here, I'm seeing your 10th house is going to be Virgo. Your 12th house is Scorpio. And for you, Sag, in your 3rd house, we're seeing Aquarius. All right, so heavy transformation around how you're flattering people. All right. Heavily focused here on the South Node being in your 10th house, meaning you're heavily focused on gaining some sort of authority surrounding your reputation, as well as in your 12th house, heavily connected to source through sacrifice and devotion, and that could be through spirituality. All right, Scorpio's a water sign, very deep, transformative, heavy feelings. All right, so it may feel that you're being overly submissive to something, but that can be easily left. Just depends on, you know, the gate is open in this cage here. You can easily leave. All right, that's what that means. All right, so let's move forward to Capricorn's energy. All right, let's pull up your chart, Capricorn, see what you got going on for the month of February. All right, Capricorn, Palace is currently in your 1st house. You have a lot of wisdom and knowledge about something here. All right. It's something that you truly feel creative. Maybe you are dressing differently or expressing yourself differently. You want to speak to the world differently. All right, about wisdom and knowledge maybe that you have gained about something that you truly feel creative with. All right, it could be that you are your appearance looks different. The way that you take care of yourself is different. The way that you nurture yourself could be a little bit different here. All right, I feel like the way that you want to be seen is more intelligent. more desirable to others. All right. And it looks like you see value coming in with Aquarius in your second house. It's all about your finances, your possessions, your money, your, overall what you truly value within yourself. So it taps in with the energy of your confidence. Anytime the sun is in the house of confidence, you feel amazing. You feel like you're in the spotlight. All right. Mercury stepping into Aquarius today in your second house. You probably are going to be finding ways of gaining information about money or how to make money or how to save money, things like that. All right, let's see. We got Sirius and Aquarius as well. So the way that you are, again, parenting and nurturing things that you feed your body, food could be of significance. All right, Sappho is in Aquarius as well. So this has a lot to do with the way that you express yourself to your partners. Typically, this is like partners within the same sex. So if you have like a spiritual belief or a spiritual value and you have someone that you share that energy with very closely together, with it being an artistic ability, sitting in the house of creativity, you could find that you resonate with like a friend, very close friend, something like that. All right, so what's also happening for you, Capricorn, is that your finances are going to be transforming. So the way maybe that you make, you save, and you spend is something that you want to keep an eye on. Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. All right, so at some points when it goes retrograde, that will be the time to really like review your money or your possessions, or learning how to transform the way that you are making money. All right, new moon in Aquarius is happening on the 29th, the same day. Chinese year of the wood snake takes place. Intuitive, imaginative, very competent, wise, and sensitive is the type of energy of the year. All right, we're looking here at the negative side of this energy. Could be a little bit stubborn or intimidating. That definitely can come through with Pluto's energy for me. All right, can definitely be that way. Sun in Aquarius, very independent, trustworthy, very humanitarian. So the way that you're expressing yourself out is over what you truly value. All right. Let's get into your third house with Pisces. So heavy Aquarius and Pisces overall for the month of February is where most of the transits are taking place. All right, so we've had the North Node step in on the 111 portal here for January of 2025. Stepping into February, we are meeting with Venus being in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces. There's a new moon in Pisces. Psyche, the asteroid of soul, consciousness, and mind, is in Pisces. And then we also have two of the asteroids here that are currently in Aquarius that are going to be stepping into Pisces. And then the Psyche asteroid is going to be heading into the sign of Aries, moving into your fourth house. All right, so there's going to be a major shift here. Major shift in what's taking place at this time, moving all into your third house of communication. So if it's short travel, if it has anything to do with transportation, your local communities, schools, social gatherings, and where you're meant to share ideas and things like that, things in the media, siblings could be of significance, your neighbors, okay? Venus is going to be stepping out of Pisces in your third house and into your fourth. So you could be finding that you are feeling more comfortable in the home environment. Anytime Venus is in the fourth house, it feels a sense of this divine feminine energy and wanting to be in your comfort. So there could be something that you're going to be dealing with here with it meeting with Chiron and Aries, having to deal with like some sort of core wound healing. It could just be like the inner healing that you need to do within yourself. All right. Your house of home is your temple, pretty much. All right. So Taurus in the fifth house. This is your house of pleasure, love, creativity, self-expression. It's also involved children. So Uranus has been retrograding since back in September. It's going direct here on January 30th. The first quarter moon happens in Taurus on February 5th. So what's happening here is that your commitment is being tested with whatever you set your intention on in your second house. Okay, so your second house having to do with your money, your values, your possessions. You're going to see that commitment be tested in whatever you set your intention on over that way. All right, in your second. With Uranus being direct, typically ruling over the sign of Aquarius, is pretty much saying, listen, get creative, be innovative, use your intellect to get creative and self-express. All right, so you may find that you're doing original things. You're drawing attention towards you by being eccentric. All right, you may be doing some sort of speaking okay? Aquarius is a very intellectual sign, very smart, very quick-witted, all right? What else do I feel here? So the retrogrades that are happening for you more so are in your 5th, your 6th, and your 7th. So this would be like your house of your hobbies, your house of what you do for work or your health and your day-to-day routines. And then also Cancer being in your 7th house. This is your house of relationships. All right. So what's happening here is your house of happiness has been reviewed. Your house of your health and how you're being of service to other people is being reviewed, as well as your contracts or whatever you're partnered to here also being in review. All right. So with Uranus going direct January 30th in your 5th house, Jupiter going direct on February 4th in your 6th house. And then by the end of the month on February 23rd, where Mars will go direct in Cancer, you will find a pickup in energy in your love life, in your house of health, as well as surrounding your relationships, which is a great thing. All right, for you overall, it's going to bring in a lot of happiness surrounding even your love life. I feel that. 5th house and 7th house has a lot to do with love. And you've got the sun shining here in the 2nd house, which is all having to do with your self-love and your self-value as well, your confidence. So I like this energy for you a lot. Leo, 8th house, house of sex, deep emotional feelings, where you're meant to face your fears. It has a lot to do with depth. That could be physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, however you want to look at it. This is the house of transformation. All right. So the full moon in Leo is going to bring some sort of illumination to whatever needs to transform overall for the month of February for you. Okay, we started off with the last quarter moon in Scorpio. Typically, Scorpio rules the 8th house, but Scorpio for you sits in the 11th house. Maybe you surrounded yourself by a community of people, all right, or you were collaborating with someone here, and where it started off last quarter moon, you were meant to release something. That new moon is saying, listen, let's get together. Let's push through with this finance thing. You push through with the finance thing, you get creative, Uranus goes direct, you have that first quarter moon in Taurus, and your commitment is then tested, where by the full moon in Leo, it brings in a sense of other people's resources or gain of money, right? 8th house has to do with loans, or it could be bank loans or whatever this may be bringing in for you. I feel like it has a heavy emphasis on the opposing energies of your 2nd and 8th houses, which have to do with money. Okay, it's money. So that's taking place on February 12th. Virgo in the 9th house, which is the house of higher learning, spirituality, and foreign travel, is where the South Node currently is right now. So your South Node placements are in your houses of travel. All right, South Node and North Node energies in Virgo and Pisces. So this is your 3rd and your 9th houses. Now, with them being in opposition in that way, there's a heavy emphasis of spirituality opposing that of doing something and being in the spotlight in the media. So if you're teaching or if you have some sort of information in which you're trying to share, all right, there's maybe a natural gift that you have that you can bring out to the world with Virgo being in the 9th house. And it could be heavily pertaining to higher learning, okay? Libra in the 10th house. This is your house of career, public image, reputation. You have a lot of power here with Lilith, all right? So if you're a divine feminine energy as a Capricorn, it gives you a sense of authority, all right? You come after your career with vengeance, all right? Sometimes it can be seen as coming through with revenge. I just feel like you have a sense of authority in your energy with Lilith being here. Very powerful feminine energy sitting in a masculine house. All right. So you could be taking a position of authority if you are in your overall feminine energy. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm speaking to a feminine, just means that whatever you do for your career could be connected to feminine like qualities in a career. So you could be working in the healthcare, whatever that may be. Okay. Scorpio in the 11th house. This is where Vesta is in Scorpio. Juno's in Scorpio, and it's the asteroid of spirituality connected with the asteroid of marriage and partnerships in the house of collaborations. All right. Juno is actually stepping out in February the 19th into the sign of Sagittarius in your 12th house. So whatever you're going to be committed to or in partnership with is going to be connected to the subconscious state. All right. But as they're working together currently right now, you're sacrificing and devoting your time connected to a partnership and or marriage with a specific collaboration, group of people, or someone or something that you're networking with. Okay. Sagittarius in the 12th, this is where we're going to set off once again with this mutable moon cycle for you. It sits in all the mutable houses. So it will start off with the last quarter moon in Sagittarius in your 12th, with Juno being there, which is the asteroid, once again, of marriage and partnerships. There could be something that you're releasing in order to connect with something else. And then we've got the 3rd house, the 6th house, and the 9th house being affected by all other mutable signs, in which from the last quarter moon in Sag, we'll start off with the new moon in Pisces, again, being your 3rd house. And then we'll see the first quarter moon take place in Gemini, which is your 6th. And then we'll be seeing, what is it? Last quarter moon, new moon, first quarter moon, full moon in Virgo. That will be the full moon in Virgo. All right, and that one won't take place up until, is that March? I think it's March. I'm not sure. I think it's March. In March, we get that full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. So it'll be a big highlight on your house of spirituality and higher learning. All right. So anytime there's a full moon, it's not a good time to, I want to say, travel. Okay. Just be careful with that energy because it sits in a house of travel, and these are, you know, where the nodes are taking place. And let's see what's going on in your energy here and what we need to see regarding these transits. There's a heavy significance on the last 4 signs of the zodiac with Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Overall, because this is where most of the planets are taking place. We just came out of a moon in Sagittarius. Juno's getting ready to ingress into Sagittarius in the month of February. We're going to see the last quarter moon start off with the mutable moon cycle in Sag. Capricorn's energy, obviously, Pallas is stepping out into Aquarius's energy. Sun is shining in Aquarius. And then heavy emphasis on all the transits that are happening in Pisces energy. There's going to be about 6 to 7 transits, and everything will be direct at that time. So great time to start manifesting. All right. Let's get into your energy, Capricorn. Sun in Aquarius in your 2nd house. Domination here with Mars in Sagittarius. All right. And Venus in Libra. So you could be indecisive about where you're heading with your career, with Libra being your 10th house. All right, Capricorn. It means that you're moving in fear, because what's happening is Lilith is sitting there. You have the power to go after and do whatever it is that you want to do. You are dominating the spiritual community basically right now with the information that you have, because the South Node is in Virgo. All right. This is a past life gift that you may have. That's a karmic challenge that's meant for you to tap into this energy. All right, so utilize the sun that's in Aquarius. Be very idealistic, be eccentric, be original, be unique. All right, and come after whatever this is that's calling for you to go after your values. All right, Aquarius is your 2nd house energy. It's going to bring you money, is what it looks like. It'll help you with your possessions. Or it doesn't even have to be about money. It can just be about truly your self-confidence, your self-love, your worth. It's your self-worth. That's what it is. And you may be afraid to go after this because you're indecisive about your career, your public image, or your reputation, or what you're going to look like to other people. Don't worry about any of that. All right, so I'm seeing 7th house, 9th house, 11th house being highlighted here as well. So your 7th house being that of Mars in Cancer, and where, again, it's still retrograding. Mars in Cancer, obviously, in the house that's ruled by Venus, is going to be at its detriment. So you may feel that you don't have the best partnerships right now or the best relationships. It won't always be that way. Mars will end up stepping back into Leo by April 18th, and that will be stepping into the ruling house, in which Mars, being in Leo, will be in the house of deep emotional feelings, and where you can kind of push through this energy like it's nobody's business. It's only a transformation. You'll be fine. All right, the 9th house again, South Node in Virgo. So there's, you're going to have to dominate through that energy. Whatever the karmic challenges are, whatever the past life issues are, just dominate right through it. You can do it. All right, and then again, Aquarius's energy for you being that of the 2nd house. So heavy on your values. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the sign of Aquarius. Get your chart pulled up. All right, so Aquarius, obviously the sun is in your sign up until the 18th of February, where it would ingress into the sign of Pisces in your 2nd house. All right, Mercury is currently in Aquarius in your 1st house as well. starting off the year in your first house, or should I say, no, in your 12th house, Mercury was out of bounds. So if you can remember back to this energy of it being in your house of the subconscious, information that was coming through subconsciously, meaning your psychic abilities, heightened intuition, your dream state. If it felt that way, now that it's stepping into your first house, I feel like you have a message to put out there. All right, with Mercury being in your first house. Sirius being in Aquarius at this time, you could be heavily focusing on nurturing, self-care, agriculture, parenting at this time. All right, it looks like Sirius is actually stepping into the sign of Pisces, as well as Sappho is going to be stepping into the sign of Pisces as well, stepping out of Aquarius from your first house into your second. So whatever this energy is of what you do artistically or how you self-express, all right, how you sexually express yourself as well, that's what Sappho is all about. I feel like it's a heavy connection to Eros. It's almost like desire, all right. It's going to be stepping into your house of money, values, and possessions. All right. So Pluto is transforming who you are as a person at core. It's giving me, you're going to be going through a massive transformation overall within the next 20 years. This new moon that's stepping out this week on Wednesday, the 29th, is going to be setting off the Chinese New Year of the wood snake. All right. So if you're tapping into like intuitive abilities or psychic abilities, you may feel extra sensitive. Your wisdom could be out the roof at this time right now. All right. You're meant to be very passionate and sympathetic and vulnerable with other people. All right. So just be careful. You're not overly judgmental. All right. Or just try to be confident, but not too overconfident in what you do. All right. It can come off to be that you're being very stubborn or intimidating other people as you're representing yourself out. I mean, the sun is on you. Pluto's transforming who you are. All right. You got a lot of things to say with Mercury being in your sign. So let's move into your second house here of what's the highlight of February, which is Pisces energy in your second house. A lot of money coming in, going after your values, focusing on your possessions, your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-value. Everything is going to be on point here. This is your North Node energy. At this time in your second house, you have Psyche in your second house, which is all about your soul, your consciousness, your mind. I feel like you're very much in alignment overall. All right, with what you're working on here. Venus is currently in Pisces. It's working well for you as well. Venus rules the second house. So Venus being in Pisces is exalted. You're comfortable where you are. But that energy is then going to shift on February 4th into your third house. All right, so Venus will be stepping out. The sun is actually stepping in on the 18th to take place of the transits that are moving out of Pisces and into Aries. Aquarius is taking over, or the sun moving out of Aquarius and taking over your second house of Pisces as well. All right, so Saturn in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces. We have a new moon in Pisces by the end of the month. The most biggest transit for you is going to be Neptune conjunct the North Node in Pisces. Why? Neptune is all about imagination and creativity, and it's sitting in the house of beauty, artistry, creativity. All right, so whatever it is that you are imagining here and bringing to your reality, that's exactly what the North Node in Pisces is going to draw in for you. Okay, so let's see what else we've got going on here. So yeah, Sirius is going to be stepping into the second house. I like this energy as well because it has a lot to do with foods. So the way that you're nurturing your body and the way that you're feeding yourself, meals are going to be of significance as well. All right, you're going to have this energy, a lot of love around you. You're going to want to parent more. All right, and then again, Sappho stepping into Pisces is going to be tapping into your artistic abilities. Now, Aries in your third house. This is where we seen the North Node for the past year and a half up until it ingressed into, or should I say retrograded back into your second. It had a lot to do with your heavy focus on communication. Okay, lots of communication here. Short travels, transportation, communication. It has a lot to do with your social groups and how you are sharing ideas with others. All right, so Chiron being in Aries, this has a lot to do with being the wounded healer. All right, what's going to be stepping in with this energy overall? I feel like the semi-sextile energy with Saturn and Pisces in your second over to this wounded healing around the energy of communications for you. I feel like it's going to draw you in some sort of money. All right. If you've been dealing with difficulties right now with money, things will start picking up once again. All right. There's a big core wound around you speaking your truth about something. All right. And then when it taps in with Saturn, it's like you're disciplining yourself surrounding your values, your spirituality, obviously, because Pisces has a lot to do with connections to spirituality. All right. What else do I want to see here? So Taurus, with Uranus retrograding in your fourth house, Gemini with Jupiter retrograding in your fifth house, and Cancer with Mars retrograding in your sixth. This has a lot to do with, I don't want to say reversals, but that's what it is. It's reviewing your home environment, what you do creatively, how you self-express, as well as what you do for work. All right, from back in September and through October, all the way through with Mars being now in Cancer, it already stepped into your seventh house. All right, so you may have found that you were connected to a specific partnership in which you felt great with, but then it started to retrograde back to review more so, is this the right thing that you should be doing for work? All right, so I feel like everything else just kind of gave it a chance to come back into alignment. As the transits continue moving forward, these placements happen perfectly how they're meant to. All right, let's just take a look here. We've got Uranus going direct on January 30th, so that's this upcoming Thursday. It's going to meet here in February with the first quarter moon in Taurus on February 5th. Your new moon happening in your first house will then square over to your fourth house. All right, meaning there will be your commitment being tested. All right, in your home environment, being surrounded by divine feminine energies, surrounding the energy of your comfort, your inner child healing, whatever's happening here that has been causing chaos. Uranus is your ruling planet. It's been affecting you the most in the home environment. Okay, so Gemini in your fifth, what's been retrograding here is how you want to grow and expand and bring in a sense of abundance and prosperity from what you do creatively and how you've been self-expressing, or your relationship with children, or connecting to your happiness, your peace, your contentment, however you want to look at that. When it goes direct, you would feel a sense of relief, and where you feel, okay, I'm growing here, right? Jupiter is all about growth. Cancer in your sixth house, this is all about your health, your hard work, how you're being of service to other people. Mind, body, and spirit is definitely having to be in alignment at this time. With Mars and Cancer, there could be a lot of clashing with those that are you connected to, containing or pertaining closest to family, because Cancer is mostly with family. Could be mother figures. You could be finding that what you do for work and you're taking action on at this time has a sense of you coming in and helping people with their health overall, and helping others stay more so organized. The sixth house has to do with like organization. All right. Leo in the seventh house. So this is where the full moon takes place for you. It is in the house of relationships. So there could be an ending that comes by February 12th with a specific relationship or something that you feel you're partnered with or contracted to. All right. It could be illuminated. It either works for you or it doesn't work for you. It'll be cut out. And you will be continuing to move forward. You've got Virgo in the eighth house, which this is your South Node energy. You're having karmic challenges or past life issues when it comes to your deep emotional feelings or having to face fears. All right, so it's time to finally let go. South Node is here. We've got the full moon in Virgo coming up in March. So whatever's taking place with this opposition of your eighth and your second houses are going to be the next focus for the next year and a half. And it has to do with resources, your money versus someone else's money. All right. Libra in the ninth house. This is the house of higher learning, spirituality, and foreign travel. This is where the South Node was previously before it retrograded back into the sign of Virgo. We were looking at heavily you focus on higher learning with spirituality and having associations to foreign people. This was a sense of power for you overall, with Lilith being there as well. All right. Scorpio in the 10th house. Here you have Vesta in Scorpio, which is going to remain here. This is why I feel like spirituality is going to be heavy for you. All right, Vesta will be in Scorpio mostly the whole year. I want to say almost the whole year. It's currently in Scorpio, which is your 10th house. This is your public image, your reputation, your professional aspiration. It has a lot to do with you sacrificing and or devoting your time for others with spiritual work. Vesta will retrograde in March on the 22nd. It will stay retrograding until June 14th. It will go direct in the sign of Scorpio at 5 degrees, meaning it has mostly the rest of the year to get back up and then head into Sagittarius by the end of the year, maybe into even 2026. All right, Juno's been in Scorpio, which is the asteroid of marriage and partnerships. This is something that you feel committed to. It has to do with your career. All right, Juno will ingress into the sign of Sagittarius February 19th. Sagittarius being your 11th house, you're going to be committed to a specific partnership with a group of people. This is your ruling house. So you're needed here, okay? Not only is it calling for someone that's trustworthy and innovative and very original and eccentric, but there's going to be a shift that takes place. All right, last quarter moon in Sagittarius is going to set off the mutable moon cycle, which for you sits in your fixed houses, which is the 2nd, the 5th, the 8th, the 11th houses. All right, so there will be major shifts here pertaining to your finances, to your creativity, all right, and what's transforming with the community of people that you're associated with the specifically moon cycle, all right, this mutable moon cycle. So remain adaptable or flexible or versatile, whatever is requiring for you to make the changes. Once Juno retrogrades, it will retrograde back on March 21st in Sagittarius, and it will then head back into Scorpio. So it's going to meet again with Vesta, and it will stay there, goes direct by July 11th. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like you're going to have a heavy focus on spirituality for about the remaining of the year in your 10th house, or connections with communities of people, all right, connected to what you do for your career. Now, Capricorn in your 12th house, this is the house of the unknown, the subconscious, and your imagination. Palace is here. You've been learning about some stuff, and it's given me some, mystical stuff, okay? Spiritual stuff. Once Palace ingresses into your first house, all right, it's going to be like, I have all this information. What do I do with it? You're going to shine and you're going to put it out there, right? You're not going to be afraid. You're going to speak your truth. Chiron is in your third house of communication. You're going to put it out there. You're going to say, this is what I learned. This is the knowledge I can share with you. This is my wisdom. This is what I do creatively. It's going to be moving into your first house as well with Eros. All right. So if it has heavily to do with what you desire, creativity, if it has like you have this drive for sex in your life, that's what you're going to be tapping in with. All right. Let's get into your cards here. What is going on? I just saw Mars in Cancer. Yeah. So coral. I don't know if there's two masculines going head to head. Normally Mars in Cancer just kind of means like very authoritative energy surrounding the home environment. Could be like a lot of fights or arguments or whatever that may be. All right, we've got Venus in Aries, which is stepping in on February 4th. That's going to be Venus stepping in with your third house, and Chiron being there as well. All right, Jupiter in Virgo, patience. You may be having a focus on patience and what you do for work as well in your sixth house, which is Cancer's energy. And then we've got the moon in Capricorn here. So the moon is currently in Capricorn right now, Capricorn being your 12th house. All right, you're a very practical person when it comes to spiritual work is what it feels like. All right, you may know how to organize, keep things in flow is what I feel. There could be a heavy focus on eating healthy as well. I'm seeing like fruits and plants and things growing. I'm also seeing the lotus flower. All right, so you know what they say about lotuses. Okay, they grow through the mud. So Aquarius, have you been drugged through the mud lately? All right, because the heavy focus for you is on what you do for work as well as your career with the 6th and the 10th houses. All right, you're about to show who you are and be very lustful while doing so. Again, you've got Eros stepping into your first house, and this is all about, again, what you desire, sex, and creativity. You might have a lot of people lusting after you, all right? But Aquarius is going to be clearly because of what you're communicating about. This is going to be Venus stepping into Aries in your third house. All right, let's get into Pisces. All right, Pisces, let's pull up your chart here. So Pisces, you are the highlight of the month, okay? You and Aquarius, but you mostly. I like your timestamp too. It's 4312. North Node in Pisces is the major thing for you this year. I feel like you're going to be in the spotlight. You're heading directly towards your destiny. Your house of self. This is your ascendant. This is your purpose. All right, so you're stepping into your purpose this year. Venus is in Pisces up until February 4th. All right, Saturn is in Pisces. We're going to see it semi-sextile over to Chiron in Aries, which is your second house by the 27th of the month, and it will join there with the new moon in Pisces on the very same day. Neptune is also in Pisces. That conjunction will happen with the North Node on the 7th of the month. Heavy, in your energy, meaning imagination, creativity, spirituality, vulnerability, the energy of sympathetic towards others, all right? spirituality being heightened right now. It's giving me like maternal instincts. I'm feeling just this powerful energy of like a ball of just meditation surrounding you at this time. That's what I feel. All right. Like asteroid of soul consciousness in the mind is in your first house. So you are highly awakened, is what it feels like. All right. Venus will step out once again on February 4th. It's going to meet with Chiron, which is all about the wounded healer. So, Pisces, you may have been dealing with some wounded healing having to do with, I don't know if it just has to do your confidence, your self-esteem, your values. All right. But you had the North Node in Aries in your second house for about a year and a half. So you could have been stepping into your destiny here, making lots of money. All right. Or at least focusing on what your values are. All right. Could be things that you truly love that you possess. All right. You could have been doing something artistically. Anytime Venus is stepping into the second house, it's in its domicile house. It's comfortable there. Right. So for Aquarius, as Venus is currently in Pisces, it works well. Venus stepping in for you in the Aries placement, it works well for you as well. All right. So focus on loving yourself, on beautifying yourself, on taking care of yourself. All right. It's just like show yourself love, do self-love affirmations and things like that. All right. Because your core wound healing here. All right. In that second house. Taurus in the third house. This is the house of communication. All right. So we have Uranus retrograding in Taurus. This also has to do with Uranus going direct after it's been retrograding since September 1st. It's going to be meeting with the first quarter moon in Taurus on February 5th, and where the new moon in Aquarius, which is currently your 12th house energy, is going to be at a square with your third house. So the 12th house and the third house are both of, let's just say, spiritual communication. All right. So this could be like heightened dreams for you, or if you've been setting yourself out on a specific journey with learning about something new, it could be something about spirituality. All right. Or connected to the house of the unknown. Maybe you feel like you don't know what direction you're heading in, but you're getting signs and synchronicities from the universe. Okay. Whatever that may be. Whatever's been reviewed here in your third house, it's also been affecting the reviews that are happening in your fourth and your fifth. So it could be your home environment or what you want to do creatively. All right. Jupiter retrograding in your fourth house. It's where you're meant to be expanding and growing. Maybe this has a lot to do with your inner child healing, your connections to a divine feminine energy, or just overall the comfort in your home environment. Okay. Jupiter going direct on the 4th. And then we've got Mars retrograding in Cancer at this time, going direct on the February 23rd. So this is all about your house of pleasure, love, creativity, self-expression, children. All right, we see here that Mars is at its detriment, or should I say at its fall in Cancer. All right, when it goes direct in Cancer on February 23rd, you may find that you're driven and going after what you do creatively, or trying to very much self-express here. All right, Mars is the planet of war. Okay, so be careful if it's like you're being too tough on children, or there may be some sort of authoritative energy surrounding your children. All right, or maybe you're just highly driven and you want to be competitive. All right, with what you do creatively and how you self-express. That could be things that come up by the end of the month. All right, Leo in your 6th house, the house of health and hard work. This is where the full moon is taking place for you, February 12th. Okay, so this is the full moon of the month of February. Obviously, while the sun is still in Aquarius, this will be the opposing energy. So there's a heavy emphasis right now for you on the 6th and 12th houses at the beginning of February. All right. This has to do with, how you're being of service to other people, your health overall. That means your mind, your body, your spirit. All right. Are you eating healthy? Are you sleeping well? Are you feeding your body the nutrients that it needs? All right. And the amount of work that you're putting in a day. It's like give yourself enough time to rest, because what will be illuminated is what's no longer serving you, and that's what's going to have to be released here at the full moon in Leo. All right, Virgo in your 7th house. This is where the South Node is for you, as your North Node is in your 1st house, putting you in the spotlight so that you can go after your purpose. You're probably dealing with karmic challenges at this time within your relationships, or some sort of contract that you're connected to. All right, this could be partnerships in business, in romance, platonic, friends, family, whatever. All right, you're probably dealing with some changes that are going to be happening here within the next year and a half, because South Node in Virgo doesn't ingress into South Node in Leo up until, I want to say, the ending of 2026. All right, probably like the summertime of 2026. All right, Libra in your 8th house. Do you have a powerful feminine energy surrounding you right now in your sex life? That's all I can say, Pisces. All right, Lilith and Libra, this is a very feminine, powerful type of energy overall, and it's in the house of sex and deep emotional feelings and where you're meant to face your fears. But it also gives you the sense of power to go through a specific transformation in your life. All right, this is the house of resources, so you do have the power, all right, to go after what it is that you want. You may be having connections to a feminine energy that is bringing in resources to help you out. All right, I don't know how that's going to be affecting you overall here with everything that's happening so spiritual in your chart, okay, with the South Node in Virgo and Pisces, and then the highlight of the 5th and the 11th houses for you, and where we're seeing the sun and the moon in opposition. It has a lot to do with what you do for work, what's transforming in your life pertaining to your relationships, as it is sitting in the opposition of your resources, your house of self, and how, you know, you're heading towards your destiny, and how it's connected to spirituality. All right, so Scorpio being in your 9th, this is where Vesta is. Vesta is all about sacrifice and devotion, and it's the asteroid of spirituality. Sitting in the house of spirituality, this is why I say spirituality is going to be a big thing for 2025. All right, once Vesta goes retrograde here on March 22nd in the sign of Scorpio, it will remain retrograding up until June 14th, and it will go direct at 5 degrees of Scorpio. So it's going to be here for most of the year. You're going to be heavily learning about spirituality and the connection that you have with that. It's going to feel like you've been sparked by something. All right, Vesta is like this inner spark that gives you with going after what you desire. It feels like a spiritual connection, that type of thing. All right, Juno's in Scorpio at this time as well in your 9th house. Asteroid of marriage and partnerships. You may feel committed to someone heavily, you know, spiritually connected with that person. Could be just an energy that you're connecting with that just kind of gives you this enlightenment of, I truly desire this. This is what I want to go after. This is what I want to be committed to. Once Juno ingresses into the sign of Sagittarius on February 19th, it's going to step into what you do for your career. Your public image is on the line here. Your reputation is on the line here. You're going after your professional aspiration with this type of energy and what you're committed to. Once that energy retrogrades on March 21st, by April 16th, it will retrograde back into Scorpio, and it will meet with Vesta once again. Okay, so there's energy of heavily like a spiritual journey that you're going on here. It's going to allow you to tap into a little bit of what this career can be like, and then it retrogrades back into you learning more about it. Okay, so that way by the time Juno heads direct in Scorpio again, it will sit with more time with Vesta. As you continue to sacrifice and devote your time to the spiritual thing, it'll set you out for when, you know, Juno's ready to step back into Sagittarius, and you'll be ready for this career by then. Okay, last quarter moon is taking place in Sag on February 20th as Juno steps into Sagittarius on February 19th. What's no longer serving you in your house of career will end. Things will be adjusted, so that way this energy of spirituality can come in, or whatever this journey is that you're going on here, what you're learning about, can set into place. All right, so the last quarter moon is setting off the mutable moon cycle for you. Specifically, you are a mutable sign, so it's going to be affecting your 1st, your 4th, your 7th, and your 10th houses. That is your house of self, your home, your partnerships, as well as your career. So you're having or going through like this massive change in your life overall within the month of February, heading into the month of March. Capricorn in the 11th house is the house of companions. Pallas is currently in Capricorn, all right, which is the asteroid of wisdom and knowledge, sitting in the 11th house, which is ruled by Aquarius. Very intellectual, very innovative, original, and eccentric. You're going to be noticing that whatever you gain wisdom about, you're putting this out to a specific group of people, or you feel like you're a membership of or a member of a specific organization or an institution, or someone that you feel that you're collaborating with to get this information out there. You may feel that you're already part of this, okay? Eros in Capricorn is the asteroid of desire, creativity. So whatever it is that you're doing here has to do truly with what you desire, and it's surrounded by a specific community of people. These two energies are going to be ingressing into the sign of Aquarius by the 14th and the 16th of February, stepping in, meeting with the sun, meeting with... it won't be meeting with Mercury technically, because Mercury will be ingressing into Pisces by then, which is your 1st house. It's going to be meeting with Sirius here, which Sirius is also going to be stepping out. You're going to be having 4 asteroids in the sign of Pisces for at least about a week. You're going to have Sappho there, Sirius will be there, Pallas will be there, as well as Eros in your 12th house. Big deal. Okay, big deal. It's meeting there with the sun. Okay, it's meeting there with Pluto, which is transforming, obviously, your subconscious state, your imagination, where the spiritual thing is taking you. All right, 12th house is of the unknown. So don't be afraid of what you can no longer see ahead of you. Just don't be afraid of just taking a leap of faith and heading into it. All right, being inspired by the fact that it's a heavy connection to spirituality. Okay. So the new moon in Aquarius that's going to take place here this week, specifically on January 29th. We're pretty much by the end of this month already. Chinese New Year of the wood snake is here, starting on the same day as the new moon in Aquarius. And this energy is bringing in a highly intuitive, imaginative, wise, and sensitive type of energy. The characteristics of this year will be for you to be sympathetic and passionate with others. All right. Pisces normally calls for you to be vulnerable and compassionate and loving towards others, and there's a heavy connection to spirituality, which can bring about this sense of heightened intuition, psychic abilities. Your dream state can be lit at this time. All right, but if you are negative in the energy, then you can be judgmental, intimidating, stubborn. You can choose to escape. You can choose to go into drugs and alcohol to try to not deal with this expansion that's about to happen in your life. All right, so just be careful. It's a big transformation for you. Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years in your 12th house. Okay, I'm pretty sure it retrogrades back into or ingresses into Pisces, should I say, in your first house. So you'll see within the next, I want to say maybe like a couple years out, where it will step into Pisces, but then it will end up retrograding back into Aquarius. All right, so as my Aquarians that are typically ruled by Saturn, okay, which is like Saturn ruled, and Saturn rules over Capricorn, and Saturn also rules over Aquarius. Pluto, now being in Aquarius, have been in the sign of Capricorn for 16 years, and now Pluto's in the sign of Aquarius for the next 20. All right, so Aquarius has already gone through this type of energy here, in which they're transforming the house of self. Once Pluto ingresses into Pisces, you'll be going through the major transformation as well. All right, so this is all aligning you with what's to come in the near future, is what I feel. All right, let's get your 3 cards out here. All right, you've got the moon in Capricorn as well. That's interesting. We've got Mercury in Leo. All right, so it's giving drama. You could be putting on a show, okay? You could be impressing people with knowledge. You could do theatrical work as well. All right, I'm seeing Cancer, I'm seeing Leo, and I'm seeing Capricorn. So these placements in your chart, Pisces, are going to be Cancer in your 5th house, all right, which Mars is retrograding right now, and what you do creatively, typically sitting in the 5th house, is Leo's house. So Mercury and Leo, you communicate about something. You're very dramatic. You're putting on a show, impressing people with your knowledge, whatever that may be, all right, communicating about it. It's like sharing your thoughts, your ideas, whatever that may be. All right, Leo in your 6th house, this is part of what you do for work. All right, again, this Leo energy is what's highlighted for the month of February. And then I'm also seeing Capricorn for you being the house of companions. All right, and where you have all this wisdom and this knowledge here, it's truly after what you desire and whatever is created for you, and what you're sharing that with the community of people. All right, I like it. What's being highlighted here once again is the 4th, the 5th, and the 10th houses. So in those houses, the house of home for you being overall Gemini, which Jupiter is going to be going direct on the 4th. All right, anything that pertains to growth and expansion and prosperity and abundance coming into the home energy could bring a sense of comfort. All right, divine feminine energy surrounding you. The 5th house, again, Mars going direct finally. Anything that's been held back, possibly pertaining to how you self-express and get creative and do what you do, you know, love to do creatively as a hobby, that's going to be coming in. As well as the 10th house here being heavy focus with Sagittarius, last quarter moon, as Juno is stepping in as well, working with the partnership here and what you do for your career. So I'm seeing the 4th and the 10th houses in opposition. All right, and I'm seeing that these are combined with what you do creatively in the 5th house. I like it. All right, so you have a specific friend that you're connecting with here. All right, heavy moon energy, so it's giving me divine feminine energy. All right, it could be like a feminine on feminine type of energy, What asteroid is that? I think it's Sappho, that is currently in Aquarius in your 12th house, which has to do with like partners with the same sex. Okay. I like this energy a lot. All right. It's tapping in with artistic abilities and the way that you express yourself in your 12th house specifically. So it has to do with your subconscious state, and that's completely going hand in hand with the energy of the moon here. And it could be that you're doing whatever you do and you're communicating about it. I feel like you shine. Leo's energy is like you're put in the spotlight. All right. I would say be cautious with gaining too much attention. All right, because I mean, it's up to you whether you like it or not. But you're heavily focused on the spiritual things, so keep it there. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Again, part 1 of this reading is going to be the signs of Aries all the way through Scorpio. Okay, so go check that reading out. Also, all of the transits for this specific week are in the, I believe it's the Astro check-in. Let's talk Astro. Yeah. Let's talk Astro community chat that we did yesterday. Collective reading speaks a little bit more about Sabian symbols if you guys are into that as well for today's energy check-in. All right. Check y'all on the next one.